going on, Jerome? It's a beautiful Friday. Birds are indeed chirping and stuff, and it's time for another Vikings news dump. So, the hermetically sealed, controlled interviews with Kevin O'Connell, as well as Rob Thug Life Brzezinski at the Combine, even though Kevin O'Connell had open pressers each of the last 4 years, but, it's just funny to me because this is just a podcast. Paul Allen, 9 to noon. Also, you can tell the Bursich he was not into this. Also Pete Bursich is my neighbor, and all right, so Peter Bursich. Um, if my Ryobi trimmer just is back on my front porch within the weekend, no questions asked, no muss, no fuss. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. Also, don't- this just looks like a regular podcast setup, just guys being dudes. Like they could be talking about Transformers and stuff, or Monster Jam, Gravedigger, or what's it? Oh, El Toro Loco. Because I've actually been to more Monster Jams at US Bank Stadium than regular season Vikings games. But I took the boys, and Ezra fell asleep promptly during the second part. He woke up for the third part, which is good. But I don't know. What were we joking about? I don't know something, but they look like Mumford and Sons. Ho, hey, whatever happened to that whole stomp, clap, shout stretch of music? I actually didn't mind it. I actually don't mind Mumford and Sons, but I feel like that's because of the Ted Lasso tie-in. What the hell are we talking about? Anyways, um, so to a degree, I understand why Kevin O'Connell sort of ducking the media. Oh, not everyone does interviews. Yes, but also Kevin O'Connell not doing an open presser after all the drama that went down with Kwesi. It's pretty transparent what's going on. Yeah. Also, our Combine Player of the Day, Kellen Mond, looking good. Kellen Mond, who was Senior Bowl MVP, and then also looked good at the Combine, which I feel like if you don't look good at the Combine, I understand you're throwing to players that you generally don't throw to, but come on. But Kellen Mond, 6'2", 211. Amber is the color of her energy. 4'6", 40. Does that say 4'6"? Yeah, or I can't read. Great 20 and 10-yard splits. He was going to be the future, and then Zimmer got a hold of him. But, Also, Kwesi adofo-mensah at the Combine. Analytics dude, 49ers, running into Kevin O'Connell. So I actually do kind of buy that O'Connell and Kwesi are on fine terms. Like that's what it sounds like from Kevin O'Connell. Kwesi could have different feelings about the situation, but again, no matter what they say, all we say this on the show a lot. Believe in actions, not words, right? And the Vikings come out and say they've been trying. They were deciding on Kwesi for weeks. Blah blah blah. No, what happened is Sam Darnold made the Super Bowl with the Seahawks, and 3 days later, Kwesi got fired. That because you were pissed. That's what happened. That's exactly what happened. Why else is Kwesi at the Senior Bowl? Oh, we were deciding. Who fires their GM a month after your season ends? Right? Just yeah. Also, so NFL Combine rocking right now. Sonny Styles, who is going to be out of range for the Vikings, but just historic, looking really damn good. I love Sonny Styles, man. 40 and 3.5 edge vert, and it was just him and Arvell Reese tearing up the draft. I feel like both of them are going to be top 5 picks. And we also said this about the Combine. So a player is already basically where they should be. And if all of a sudden a really bad player has a great combine or a really great player has a poor combine, that shouldn't change too much, right? So believe your eyes in the first place. But the combine, what it should do is confirm beliefs, or if there's an anomaly, like a bad player has a great combine or a good player has a bad combine, just go back and take a look, right? And generally, sometimes people just have a bad day. And also, there's so much specialization in terms of training for the specific drills in the combine that goes into pre-draft work, which it almost makes it meaningless at this point. But Sonny Styles, man, Sonny Styles is a great name for a linebacker. Like if they were gonna do draft day 2, like Sonny Styles, linebacker from The Ohio State University, that'd be pretty good. That'd be pretty damn good. Also, Styles and his historic combine as a safety, corner, wide receiver, and defensive end, they're all still basically tens. Kind of amazing, man. Also, Vikes verified. We confirmed the following prospects have met with the Vikings: safety Bud Clark out of TCU, Tanner Kazoil, Chris Johnson, the cornerback out of San Diego State, no relation, VJ Payne out of Kansas State, Dylan Thieneman, of course, from Oregon. He's the Weapon X clone of Logan, and Logan is Harrison Smith, as well as Justin Jolly, tight end at NC State. So, um, I'm sure that there'll be a tracker, coming on a board. But overall, it's like the Vikings are doing a lot of work on players in the secondary, which a little bit surprising. But also, you remember that Brian Flores is basically the head coach and GM right now. He's consolidating power. It's going to be a palace coup. We'll take it, man. Also, this is great too. Louis, safety, linebacker, whatever. 2026 combine results. 40-yard dash, 4.53, fifth amongst linebackers. And then third, fourth, and second, respectively, on 10-yard split, vertical jump, and broad jump. Also, there's a lot of talk that he projects to add a little bit of weight and become the next Derek Brooks at the NFL level, which we will certainly take. We'll certainly take. I love Kyle Lewis, man. I feel like he's gonna be legit. Also, Grayson Halton is gonna be damn legit too. I feel like Halton in a draft where it's relatively sparse on truly twitched up three techs, Halton, I feel like could make some dough, right? 36.5-inch vert, third best ever by a defensive tackle at a combine. Plus, just his tape is heart and hustle and muscle, sideline to sideline, does not give an F. And yes, I mean, pairing up Grayson Halton with the rest of our guys on the defensive line, as well as fellow Sooner Jalen Redmond, once we bring him back, baby could have a stew going. Also, so Emma Johnson, the pride of Holy Angels, Nebraska running back, 3-down dude, probably going to be a late day 2 selection, maybe even higher because it's not a great running back class. But just watching the highlights, and I felt really stupid, right? Because I'm all about the easy comparisons as well as Vikings comparisons. Emma Johnson's basically Jerick McKinnon. Right. McKinnon was a great all around back. Actually, he was an option quarterback at Georgia Southern, which is awesome. But just a great all around back. And he's got that little shimmy and then, gets upright when running it in the open field. I really love McKinnon, man. It's kind of a shame that McKinnon bounced around the league after the Vikings. Had a couple great stints with the Chiefs, won a couple Super Bowl rings. But, I mean, McKinnon was a dude, man. He's going to be that guy. All right. Also, so there's been a couple of surprise cuts. This one coming up, rap sheet. The Commanders are releasing starting center Tyler Biadasz, source says. Another center available in free agency. The 28-year-old has started 31 games over 2 seasons. I would be okay if the Vikings took a swing on Biadasz, and mainly because since he was cut, he's not going to count against comp picks. And at a minimum, he is legit interior 3-spot backup. At maximum, he can be your starting center. And I would certainly be okay with that situation. Also, speaking of situations, it's so funny. The NFLPA, report cards, and then the NFL voted them down. It's like, oh, we have to keep them secret. They're never going to remain secret. They will always be leaked out. But for the Vikings, GPA aggregate, they're number 2 in the National Football League for the second year in a row. So they've been first, second, which is pretty damn good. Treatment of families A, home game field B. Food nutrition area B minus, nutrition dietitian B plus, locker room A, training staff A minus, training staff A minus, weight room A minus, strength coaches A, position coaches B plus. Also, OC A minus. Good job, Wes. Rubber stamp and all the Kevin McConnell stuff, but defense corner B plus. So obviously, it's the defensive players voting on defense corner. How are they going to vote Flores a B plus, man? I understand that he's gruff and demanding, but maybe that's what you need is a kick in the ass. Maybe that's why you're one of the best defenses in the National Football League because Flores is out there chewing gum, kicking ass. He's all out of gum. So guess what? We're kicking ass. That's right. Special teams coordinator A minus Coach Hat. I don't know if special teams only includes punting. Well, not even punting. Kind of punting. but not coverage, as well as kicking field goals. That's it. That's it. Yeah. Team travel B plus, and Delta took that personally. Yeah. Head coach A general manager who does not have a job. Unless they're talking about Rob Thuglab Brzezinski. Team ownership A plus. Agree. Even though, I mean, pretty clearly they just fired Kwesi because they got mad about Sam Darnold. But I don't know. Like the Vikings are a well-run organization. Just got to put it together. Also, so all this talk about, hey, we'll have JJ McCarthy and then we'll bring in a quality veteran backup who can compete for the job and he can be safe, as opposed to, I don't know, let's just take a shot on the most lotto ticket of lotto ticket quarterbacks that could be available. Uh, Cameron Wolf. Colts and Anthony Richardson have mutually agreed to seek a trade, sources tell me. Indy met with Richardson's agent this morning, and they came to the conclusion it was best for both sides to examine trade options. Fresh start coming for 2023 number 4 overall pick, Richardson. And the Wolf. One team to keep an eye on, trading for Anthony Richardson, Minnesota Vikings. There is mutual interest. Combine is ideal time for these convos to happen. And of course, the viral moment of O'Connell and Anthony Richardson talking, "You're a bad dude, yes sir," as well as the Vikings rumored had interest ahead of the head of the draft, but of course the Vikings in 2023 we're not going to be able to get up in the stratosphere and take Richardson. And I do like Richardson. He's just extremely raw. And hey, Jaden McCarthy is raw. Anthony Richardson is completely uncooked. All right, so is that what the competition is going to be? Because you can just throw all that out. So you have two quarterbacks who are extremely high variance, don't know what they're doing sometimes, have moments of brilliance, and just have them compete. As opposed to, I don't know, McCarthy and a decent backup like Geno, right? Who's not going to cost you a lot. I don't know. Like, I feel like if Kevin O'Connell, well, there's two ways to look at this. If Kevin O'Connell is indeed on thin ice, you'd think that he would want the safer veteran, like bring in Kirk Cousins to compete with JJ McCarthy. But I mean, JJ McCarthy and Anthony Richardson, if Kevin O'Connell's just like YOLO, I'm just going to roll the dice, right? Uh, maybe, maybe. Or, hell, quarterbacks still want to play with Kevin O'Connell and Justin friggin' Jefferson indoors with the Vikings, right? So they could look at McCarthy and Richardson and be like, I could still beat that out. All right, so if Kyler gets cut, he could roll on in. Aaron Rodgers coming on in. I don't know. I don't know, man. Like, I I'd be fired up for it, mainly because I think Richardson. How are you going to get a quarterback that has a lower completion percentage than JJ freaking McCarthy, man? But I don't know. This team is never boring. That's fine. Just be entertaining. I win some football games and win a couple Jerome Bardys. That would be ideal. Anyways, that's it. Vikings news up for this beautiful, glorious Friday. Combine rolls on down the line. Can't wait for the DBs to get after it, man. You guys are the best thing you have to do. Skull production value.